Hey guys, it's EJ with Blockpad, and today we're looking at arrays. Now, I've got a lot of topics I want to cover with arrays, so I'm going to make a series of videos covering each of these topics in depth. But I thought I'd make one overview video kind of covering all the things you need to know about using arrays in Blockpad and to give you a feel for what's possible. So let's get into it. The first thing is just how to create an array. Now, to put an array directly in a formula, you're going to use square brackets with commas between the items and semicolons between the rows. So that's how you're going to do a two-dimensional array like this. For a single dimensional array, you're going to use just semicolons for this vertical array and then just commas for a horizontal array. Array items can be any type of Blockpad formula object. So they can be numbers, numbers with units, text, dates, functions, and arrays. You can have arrays inside of arrays. And all of that can be mixed up inside of one array. It doesn't have to just be all strings or all numbers. Moving on, there's a few other ways to create arrays. The next one I want to mention is referencing a spreadsheet cell range. So here I have metalprops.A1 to D4, and that's referencing this spreadsheet range over here, A1 to D4. Now, when you do this, you can essentially now use this name, metals, like a spreadsheet range, except it's a good way to name it. In general, spreadsheet ranges and arrays are pretty interchangeable in Blockpad. There's also functions like linear series or make array that you can use to generate arrays following a certain pattern. Moving on, we also have basic array functions, kind of like what you would find in a conventional spreadsheet for spreadsheet ranges. So there's things like sum or sum squared, max, min, all those sort of basic functions. I don't have all of them listed here, but all of those are going to be in Blockpad. Now, when you go to do math with arrays, by default, it's going to use matrix math and not item by item math. In some cases, that's going to be the same thing. So for example, if I have 5 times A, then matrix math would have 5 being multiplied by each item in that matrix. But for something like multiplication, you're going to get a matrix math answer if it's possible. So notice that here, A times B, the answer isn't item by item multiplication, it's matrix multiplication. Similarly, for things like being raised to the -1, that's going to be the inverse of the matrix B and not each item to the -1. And we also have functions like the determinant that's going to be there for matrix math. Now, for single dimensional arrays, Blockpad will do item by item calculations and not matrix math calculations. So for example, here I have diam squared. That's going to be squaring each item in that array and not doing any kind of matrix multiplication. Similarly here, forces divided by areas is each item in forces being divided by each item in areas. Next, Blockpad has lookup functions like in conventional spreadsheets, and these work the same with arrays as they do with spreadsheet cell ranges. Like I said earlier, it can often be clearer to name a spreadsheet range using this array referencing, and then you can use that name in the formula instead of something like metal props A1 to D4. Moving on, we have array indexing in Blockpad where you can use parentheses at the end of a matrix or array. And depending on how you use that, it's either going to return a row or a column or an item at that location. So A of 1 is going to return the first row. A of asterisk comma 2 is going to return the second column. And A of 3 comma 3 is going to return the item at the third row and third column. And note that these are indexed to 1 and not indexed to 0. In addition to that, Blockpad has a lot of functions like range or take or drop that are going to give you specific ranges or indexes. When you actually go to do something with these arrays, we have what I call advanced array functions. So things like each, where you can perform a function on each item in an array, or each row, where you can perform a function on each row in an array. We also have functions like where and sort and filter that you're going to be able to use to sort and filter your arrays, and functions like reduce that you can use in place of some for loops. Now, speaking of for loops, Blockpad also has programming functionality that's going to give you the power of a scripting language inside of an equation using inline programs. So these are going to have variable declarations, variable overwrites. They're going to have a chance to overwrite specific array items using indexing, or you can concatenate arrays inside of them. All of that's going to be available in inline programs. And this can be a great way to create custom functions like here I have every other item that you can then use on arrays. So here I have every other item being run on C, and it's going to do just that, give me every other item. So that's the quick overview on arrays in Blockpad. With all of these tools, you're really able to do quite a lot, ranging from sorting and filtering to lookup or running item by item calcs on a whole bunch of different formula inputs. So there's really a lot you can do. Now, like I said, we're going to be covering each of these topics over the next few weeks as in-depth videos. But before those are released, I'm going to go ahead and share this file with you that I plan to use for those videos. And that's going to have some more details about things like creating arrays, doing math, lookups, sorting and filtering, all of that stuff. All of that's going to be in this file. And I'm going to have links in the description that you can look at. So that's all I've got for you today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thank you.